Hello everybody, welcome back to the workshop. Today I'll be building the Plackart to a Curaiss. Enjoy. So I'm starting off with two large pieces of cardboard. I just drew out this shape looking at images online of Curaisses, and then I put a curve on one side and then a slit at the top, and I copied that onto a second one. I plan on bending these against the corrugation and gluing that slit together so it adds some dimension. As you can see, I drew this with the corrugation going up along with the piece of armor, and I bent it across my knee just once, and already the contours are taking place. So I'm going to hot glue that seam together. After patiently waiting for the hot glue to dry, this is the difference between the bent and glued piece and the unbent and glued piece. The one seam cut and a few bends. I also bent it with my hands along this edge here, and look how much shape comes out of one piece. I placed that up against another piece of cardboard to get the center piece, and then I just traced out that curvature. Now I'm bending the piece against the corrugation so it fits that curvature smoothly. Also, just a reminder that all these pieces are custom cut and designed. Had to alter the center shape a little bit, but that's okay. I just decided to cut off this, cut some of the angles off so it would fit a little bit cleaner. But yeah, other than that, we are still moving forward, and then we'll just have a fourth piece instead of three pieces, and I'll have to modify this one too for whatever goes in there. I cut out another piece for my armpit just because it wasn't shaped correctly, but now it is on both sides. And this is what it looks like so far. Now for the back part of the Curaiss, same thing. I put the front onto a piece of cardboard, roughly the same size I used to cut out all of these pieces, and I'm tracing that slant as well as continuing the curve of the armpit, try to match that up, and then I can design the rest of the Curaiss, whatever I decide what shape that is. So here's what the back plate looks like, and these are all the slits I cut in it. And I have two longish ones up at the top and then one short one on the bottom. So when I glue them together, it'll look like this. Yeah, I know, it's a different day. Give me a break. All right, so I used a popsicle stick right there to give that some more flattening. And it's actually a pretty small piece. But notice how there's a slant here, and on the back plate, that is going to line up, and it's about 1 inch. I'm probably actually just going to glue it right to one side and only one side, because I have buckles and clips to connect the other side with, so you can adjust. So for the buckles, clips, and straps, I have 3 of each, and they're going to go along the side of the Curaiss. I guess I'll save this pair right here, for lower down on the faulds. Speaking of faulds, we need to make those too. So I have the rest of the strap I'm using because it's a flexible material to measure a bend length, a curved length. So I'm going from the middle of the side all the way around to where I also think the middle is going to land. And it's about this much. So when I transfer that onto cardboard, I put a mark at the end here. Now I can actually measure that. 22 inches. So I'm going to copy that all the way down to this big, large piece of cardboard because I'm trying to get these faulds to be the exact same length. Just gonna square that across. I'm going to choose to make my faulds 2.5 inches wide by 22 inches long. So for the faulds, this is the design that I chose. It's just a simple 2.5 inch piece that goes up to a point, or I guess that point would be 2.5 inches, and then this is like 2 inches. I made 5 copies, and then the 6th one is the one that is going to have the tassets on the front. So this one is even longer, and I decided to design it with extra points for some more gothic feel to it. So we got 6 total, and these I'm going to set aside because for the Curaiss there needs to be a piece mounted on here that the faulds would sit on. So I have this curved piece, which is the same dimensions as the faulds, 2.5 inches wide by 22 inches long, except this time I cut it out with a curve. And I cut this out of a very large piece of cardboard. I have 2 of these. This one's a little bit modified. They can be identical. But what I'm going to do is, notice how they look like this? I'm going to glue them on the inside of their radiuses. So you'll have this angled, curved piece that looks like that. And this will be glued onto the front of the Curaiss. And we'll make one for the back as well. Just like this. Here's a look from the inside. So I hope you guys enjoy this stop motion animation because I feel like it helps describe how I actually attached the faulds together with elastic band. I got this white elastic band from Walmart because they ran out of black, but it's an inch thick. I used 3 strips and then I placed them evenly among the faulds and then I just glued them at one point so then it has the flexibility I'm looking for. The points on all the pieces actually helped me align these better. I didn't even need to look, but like now I know like this is definitely the true center, and that little piece, that little shape just actually helped a lot in aligning these up. But yeah, the elastic was way better of a choice than using paracord because elastic stretches, it's also flatter, so it actually helps line this thing up better, and you don't have to wait for a Gorilla Glue to dry. So yeah, by the way, I glued it here, 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 here on each piece of elastic because you need that space in between. See, you can actually see where I glued for it to bend down and fold. See, now you can see how it actually functions. It folds in all evenly like that. You need some of that extra space. So put the glue at the bottom and just the bottom, and then put your piece of elastic down. You should be good. And of course, we're going to do the same thing on the back. Flexibility is so smooth and so effective. Let's add those buckles and clips, and the cardboard part will basically be finished minus the tassets, which we will do. Okay, time to make the tassets. I started off by just freehand making the left one. I just drew out this shape you see right here. Then I just got my Sharpie and then drew some intricate lines. So when I cut those all out and just glue them at slight angles, you have this very intricate shape with all these different dimensions. And it instantly turns a 2-dimensional object, something flat, into something 3-dimensional. It is 10 1/4 inches tall, and the widest part is 13 3/4 wide. And here we have both of them. And I think I'm gonna paint the Curaiss before I attach these because I want the straps on these to stay black. And I'm also out of strap. I'm waiting for my Amazon shipment to arrive. But these will go right here in the front. And I'll try to get them to line up like this, sort of, along the curve on the front. But yeah, this is our progress. To fill in all the black hot glue cracks and seams on the front, I'm using this plastic wood. And this is what it looks like on the inside. Yeah, I just use my fingers, scoop it up, and then rub it on the cracks. Here's what the plastic wood job looks like so far. I do a thin layer first, let that dry a little bit, and then I go back with an even bigger glob, and I try to feather it out from the rough edges. For example, like this right here. You don't really have to do this step at all, but it is a good skill to know how to do to cover up all the seams and cracks as a finishing process. I gotta feather it out too on the back as well. All right, this is our progress. Here are our tassets. I was planning on attaching them like so, not completely together, but like along that already pre-existing curve. So I'll use strap and buckles for that. And it's time to go paint this. I used hammered metal gray and the darker gray out of the three options. I think there's a black, light gray, and medium gray. I used that to give it a darker, unpolished look. And I think I'm going to have to do a small edit on the sides of the buckles and clips. I got to make them a little bit tighter so the faulds are snug towards the sides of the hips. So I just added some more strap because I recently bought a new roll on Amazon. I fixed those buckles so now they're tighter on the sides, and at least it's better than it was. I might have to do some more touch-up of the paint right there where I ripped off the old piece. But other than that, we're basically done for this portion. Next is the breastplate, which I'm going to wear underneath this as well. But let's do a quick suit up. This would be considered a pie rope. It is just a makeshift belt I made out of some more of that strap. This is typically worn around the Plackart just to snug things up, also to tighten up the armor while the knight is being suited up. And then whenever they release that rope, the armor like collapses into itself and sits more form-fitting onto the knight. So as you can see, it is slipping down a little bit because I'm not wearing a breastplate. But just to clear up some confusion, or as far as I know, this is the Plackart of the Curaiss. I actually have a breastplate and a Plackart right here for my first knight armor set. That together makes the Curaiss. And the Curaiss typically protects the lower half of the knight from waist to the hips to the upper thighs. But anyway, here is my Plackart of my Curaiss. I think this color scheme matches my helmet a little bit better, which I will be making a new one. And with this bottom portion of the Curaiss, there will be another armor set to follow it. So look forward to that, and also look forward to more T51 videos. But anyway, here is the finished Plackart Curaiss. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you like these builds that I do, like and subscribe for more videos.